What has just happened?
Way so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living. I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines out.
Wait. I've waited 7 years. 7 years for this moment. Chelsea have not beaten Manchester United in the Premier League until now for 7 years, and I can't pick the bones out of that game, mate. Oh my god, 4-3 on the night. Cole Palmer saving Chelsea Football Club, not for the first time. He got a hat-trick. I just realised he's got a hat-trick. Oh my god. Look, before I try my hardest to analyse this game, make no bones about it, this was two drunk hobos punching each other out. This was the most ridiculous game. It must have been an absolute banger for the neutral. Both Chelsea and Man United fans respectively can feel very frustrated with how their teams performed. There's a couple of star boys on show, Garnacho, Cole Palmer. There's mistakes, there's Caicedo just giving the ball away. There is, of course, penalties being conceded by Antony, and then, of course, Diogo Dalot. Chelsea just looking, just, oh my god, let me just take a breath, bro. We hadn't conceded a 2-0 lead at home to lose since 1999. My glasses are steaming up. I'm losing, my head's gone, bro. Like, I'm sweating, like, I just lost my mind. 1999, and it was going to happen today until Cole Palmer scored 2 goals in 2 minutes, in a minute, 99th and the 90 and the 100th minute. Oh my god. I'm allowed to just lose my mind because 7 years. I've got so much to say. I've got so many conflicting emotions. I'm so angry at Chelsea and Pochettino for so many reasons. How has the Premier League record signing turned into such a bad player in Moises Caicedo? Are we not coaching? How do we concede so many goals every single game? Do we not know how to defend? Are there no tactics? But there's hope because there's belief, and they're showing more and more and more, this young Chelsea team, that they believe. And more than anything, it's Cole Palmer that's friggin' bailing us out again. Welcome to Football Therapy. How you doing? I'm feeling pretty good. If you're feeling good too, drop a like on the video. It supports us content creators. You're welcome to subscribe if you want to. Hit the bell if you do subscribe so you get notified. Shall I tell you what happened in this game? Because I am trying to get my head around it as well. We started a 4-2-3-1. Petrovic in goal, not his greatest game. His form seems to be slipping. We can talk about the players in just a moment. We had the French Monaco boys signing a centre-back, and I am done with these, man. We can talk about that a little bit. Badiashile especially, Disasi on the right. Cucurella, conventional left-back-ish. Malo Gusto, conventional right-back. With the midfield three of Enzo Caicedo, which I think more and more just doesn't work, or certainly under this coaching staff. Gallagher in the 10, Palmer on the right, Jackson up top, and Mudryk on the left. We had sub-appearances, of course, from Alfie Gilchrist coming in at right back, Chalobah coming in at right centre-back. I said in my preview I would have started Trevoh Chalobah as centre-back. Maybe in hindsight, Poch will look at him moving forwards. He's a pure profit sale, apparently. So we had that midfield, and we saw some appearances also from Chukwuemeka. So it was by that point Chukwuemeka and Madueke came on, and it was just freestyle. Sterling came on also to play on the left. It was 4-2-3-1 versus Manchester United's 4-2-3-1, and this game was insane. It was a basketball match. It was up, down, up, down, up, down. It really, really was. We saw substitute appearances from Evans, who had to come off again. They're having a massive centre-back crisis, Manchester United. They also saw Kambwala, the young centre-back, coming on, eventually replacing Evans. McTominay came on, Rashford came on, and Mason Mount came on to a lot of boos. I don't want to speak too much about that. Of course, the fact how Erik ten Hag said yesterday that he left Chelsea because he wanted to, not because they wanted to sell him, they wanted to keep him, which really wasn't great PR for Mason Mount before he came to Stamford Bridge. So should we pick the bones out of this one then, shall we? First of all, we had 25 shots to their 19. We had 57.8% possession. We actually, for a long time, had less possession in this game. I'm looking at who scored. Man United have a higher collective rating than Chelsea, and we won the game. I can kind of understand it as well. So many shots, 25 shots. You guys know me, I'm massively in favour of high shot volume. I think that's why Liverpool are currently top of the Premier League. They just take so many shots and it suits them. Although they apply pressure consistently against opposition teams, where we let them go in up and down. It's like a really dumb transition thing. Can I just say 7 years? 7 years since Alvaro Morata scored a winning goal against Manchester United for Chelsea. 7 years. I feel like the curse is lifted, like a demon's being exorcised out of my body. There you go. There's that demon. Can we just keep beating Man United now? Freaking heck, bro. Yes. So, this game started, this game's actually started rather worryingly. Like, the opening exchanges, it was Man United all over us, and I was like, here we ruddy go. But we settled it down with a goal in the 4th minute with Conor Gallagher. It's a good goal, actually. It's a low drive. People said the goalkeeper could have done better, but I think it was a good goal. It was through legs, which is confusing for goalkeepers. And then, of course, we see Antony, who actually had a good game for Man United. One of his better games, his first Premier League assist of the season. Charity FC strikes again. Cole Palmer converts the penalty conceded by Mudryk. I think Mudryk won it, which is good work from Mudryk. It's worth saying that because he does win penalties. He does what Pulisic and Timo Werner does in that left-hand channel, like really sprinty runners with the ball. That wins a lot of penalties, which of course is a massively high value for teams in the Premier League. So Mudryk deserves plaudits for that. Palmer doesn't miss, does he? And then of course we've got the Caicedo mistake where he just sort of passes it out. I think like people are trying to blame Benoit Badiashile, and he was also terrible in this game, but Caicedo had an absolute stinker. It's unavoidable. Like, this kid's supposed to maybe have it all, like the best midfielder potential in the world for everything. His scope in terms of his, abilities is meant to be immense, but this is one of my biggest frustrations with Pochettino at the moment. Maybe Caicedo and Fernandes don't complement each other that well. Maybe that's the truth that we all need to learn. But the truth is, Caicedo is meant to be an amazing midfielder that Liverpool also had a bid for £111 million accepted for. Where's this guy? I'm not going to have a go at him. It's up to the coaching staff to bring it out of him. But at the moment, this kid, not looking good there. And Garnacho finishes it really well. What a player Garnacho is. He's not quite Cole Palmer, but he's definitely going to be in the run-in for young player alongside probably Kobbie Mainoo. But yeah, he ain't got anything on Cole Palmer. And then Bruno Fernandes with a good goal, actually, assisted by Diogo Dalot. And at this point, it's 2-2 in the first half. So both teams have offered a gift, and both teams have scored a good goal as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, throughout this whole game, I'm upset with our centre-backs. I think they're terrible, actually. But we can talk about that more, generally later on. And we've let a 2-goal lead slip in the space of 5 minutes because they scored the first goal 34th and the equaliser in the 39th. And there's a lot of that in this game. 2-2 going into the second half. A few changes. Johnny Evans comes on for Varane. Of course, he shortly comes off afterwards. Rashford comes on for Højlund. And Antony with an amazing assist, actually. And he's, I guess, got the ability. He's an £80 million player, lest we forget. Or 100 million euro, whatever that is. He's a very expensive footballer, despite never really reaching high numbers. But yeah, and again, Garnacho. In this game, I feel like the two players that actually had the most composure were the two young wingers for each team, in Garnacho and Cole Palmer. Garnacho won man of the match for his 2 goals, but Palmer got a hat-trick, mate. So, it's a shame they have to do that before stoppage time, because Cole Palmer really exploded towards the end of stoppage time. Anyway, it was a good goal, Man United. Antony, Garnacho. I do think on that goal in the 67th minute, which looks like for the rest of the game, it was the winner for United. I think Petrovic was poor on that goal. He sort of goes for a cup of tea, goes for a beer, he goes to the shop. He should have stayed home. I don't know what he's doing there on that goal. And he's kind of, as game by game recently, I'm thinking maybe he was just riding a little purple patch, Georgi Petrovic, because everyone was like, yeah, he's been great since he's came in. 14 million quid. But yeah, I don't think he was good in that goal. We make loads of changes. I see on Twitter everyone's understandably having a go at Poch because he brings on multiple centre-backs when we're chasing a game. But he also does bring on Carney, Chukwuemeka and Sterling. Chukwuemeka's... look, Gallagher had a good game. He scored a goal. He's coming off that controversy from that, mascot video. That was nonsense, I think. And he played well. But I've said it before, I think Carney Chukwuemeka is the one in terms of playing in that number 10 role. I think it's the most appropriate. So he comes on, and of course we see Noni Madueke come on for Gallagher as well. So we've made all 5 changes at this point in the 89th minute, and Noni Madueke is good. He's a wild card, and when you don't have to defend that much and you're going for it, yeah, you do utilise him. He's a good player. He's very young still. 89th minute, and it looks like, we're applying pressure, but, Mason Mount's getting booed on the ball, but he's doing quick one touch so he doesn't hold on to the ball for too long. He makes a great tackle, Mason Mount, defensive tackle in their box. He also gets into a little bit of a fight with Enzo Fernandez, which won't endear him at all with Chelsea fans anymore. I think this is truly the game where he realises that the love story is broken with Chelsea, which is kind of fair enough, bro. You roll that dice when you defect to the north, you defect to the red from the blue, from the south. It's just the way it is, but it's the theatre of football is how it goes. So it looks like we're screwed, right? I'm thinking, well, just blow the whistle, ref. I'm going to do my match review and football therapy. I'm going to whinge about the midfield, the defenders. I've talked about how it's pointless sacking Pochettino at this point, but I was thinking but maybe we just need some sort of pragmatist to come in, see us out to the end of the season, to play some sort of 4-4-2, just to get players' confidence up. Do you know what I mean? I was really on the edge there. But of course, cometh the hour, cometh the man. Was it Diogo Dalot conceding the penalty in the 99th minute? Cole Palmer, again, he has to wait for ages. He has to wait for absolutely ages. And I think it's, again, much like we need to give Mudryk praise for winning that first penalty, you have to give Noni Madueke praise. I know he was a little bit lucky with Dalot literally falling into him, but you need to give him praise as well. It's good work, man. So again, Cole Palmer, absolute immense. Do you know what I mean? The fact how he this kid, he's got balls of steel. He's literally Cole Palmer. He lives up to the name. I think the name's helped him. Imagine that long VAR check, the booing, the Man United fans, the pressure of he just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. And a minute later, Enzo Fernandez gives him the ball when we're sort of circling the box. I feel like, it should have blown the whistle by now. And then we'll just sort of go meh over, a point against a crap Man United side. But yeah, and again, look, he lashes it. You take you don't buy a ticket, you can't win. It's obviously a sort of deflection off Scott McTominay's come on that beats Onana. But do I give a monkeys, mate? No, I don't. I'm going to take that all day long, mate. And to be honest, I'm looking at the Who Scored website now. Onane's the second highest. Onane's the third highest rating. Onana, I think, had a really good game. And if you look at the numbers this season for Manchester United, the amount of shots they've conceded, I think kind of, in a way, Onana's playing hero ball after having a really rough start. Do you know what I mean, at Manchester United? So, I don't know, him, Garnacho, and oddly, Anthony were probably the best 3 Manchester United players. So we all have a collective big sigh of relief, and we're all sweating. Manchester United fans, hearts broken as they leave Stamford Bridge. There was a big celebration at the end with Chelsea fans. Caicedo got booked, I'm seeing here, in the 101st minute. Why is that hard to say in football? You don't really say get into the 100s, do you? So yes, that was big just Pochettino going nuts, the players going nuts. But I mean, look, as much I'm losing faith in the coaching staff all season, but look how they celebrate with the players. They're clearly together, and there's clearly belief, and maybe one day we'll stop conceding 2 or 3 goals every single game, and then you can bring this same attacking prowess, this same belief of young players, and actually become a good football team. But let's do a bit of a deep dive and talk about who played well and who played bad. Caveat, okay? Caveat. I'm not want to dig out players here. I do think they are all a victim of dubious coaching at times and a dysfunctional side. So I'm not going to, by me saying they played bad, I'm not saying they're terrible players. Petrovic played really bad. Badiashile and Disasi were both awful. Like, awful. I thought Disasi was the guy where the Etihad. I like how he celebrates tackles, shows a bit of passion. But trust me, the ironic thing is here, that's what £70 million worth of French centre-back we bought off Monaco. And the guy we're trying to sell for 20 million quid, Trevoh Chalobah. I'd much rather start Trevoh Chalobah at the moment, the way he looks composed. Which is, you know, a whole other existential crisis of being a Chelsea fan that we can speak about. Centre-backs were terrible. Gilchrist was fine when he came on. Koukouré was decent. He did a couple of wobbly moments. He was in the wrong places a few times, but he defended well. He sprinted back, and I think he was fine. Similarly, I think Gusto was good. He obviously got an assist, I think. Didn't he get an assist? For the Cole Palmer, for the Conor Gallagher goal? I think he did. But he also got a yellow card. He always gets booked. But again, he's super young. He's 21, Gusto. He'll settle down, you know. Okay, so the midfielders, I think Caicedo was probably our worst player on the night. I'm looking at the Who Scored reference here, and he was our lowest ranked player, Moises Caicedo. I mean, we got a whole other video to talk about him, so we won't talk about that for the moment. Enzo was better than Caicedo, and he did get booked as well, and I liked his little argument with Mount, and of course he got the assist, inverted commas, for the winner. So Enzo, you pass. I just like Enzo Fernandez. I like how he always just gets in a bit of a rut. He feels quite Chelsea. Caicedo doesn't feel Chelsea at all. Like, and what I mean like old school Chelsea. Do you know what? It's very difficult to describe because you had like great midfielders that are a bit more passive, like N'Golo Kante, but there's something very Chelsea about Enzo, and I do really like him. I do, but I worry for Caicedo. Maybe not long term because he's very young and he's clearly very talented, but he needs time. Gallagher, great. Of course, he scored the goal. He also hit the woodwork, which would have been a really good time to score. But cometh the hour, cometh the man. There's a better time to score, and that's in the 100th minute. So left hand side, Mudryk, I think he was fine. I think he was useful. Similar with Jackson. Of course, Mudryk won the penalty. Jackson didn't get goal involvement, but he was doing the right stuff. He's probably not the centre forward we need moving forwards, but I think Jackson, at the end of the season, we'll look at how much he cost, we look at where he came from, we look at how he's been positionally converted, and I think we'll all agree and shake hands, Jackson was a good signing for our squad, and he demonstrated he can mix it today. I think him and Mudryk were good, serviceable, they didn't do anything wrong. Madueke was fine. Sterling was actually fine as well when he came on, and, you know, he did the right kind of runs, and he does link up well. I think Chukwuemeka actually was pretty good as well. So Chukwuemeka, Madueke and Sterling, I think they did cause uncertainty. Of course, like in that last goal, the winner, they just opened up for us. But I think that's because we had these new players on and Man United didn't know what to do with them. So the subs were good, I think. But yeah, of course, the man of the match by a country mile is hat-trick hero Cole Palmer, winning it for Chelsea at Stamford Bridge against his boyhood club. Of course, he's a Manchester United fan. Incredible scenes. Right, and I'm going to have to decompress on this, guys. I'm so looking forward to reading your comments down in the comment section below, so please do leave them there. Absolutely. I mean, game of the season, I guess. Like, absolutely insane. So, yeah, comment, like, subscribe. I'll see you in a bit. Peace.